Make it love, live and learn, live and light, celebrate one life. But you know I can't let go of your lies. What did you need? Why did you call? Try to take the last of it all, but you know I can't let go of your lies. What did you need? Why did you call? Try to take the last of it all.
What's up, everybody? I'm back. Hello. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome to my second live stream today. This is Mark's Pronunciation Station. And on this live stream, I will help you to fix your pronunciation problems, if you have any. So, it is Sunday, July 2nd. It's 11:07 a.m. right now, and it's starting to get warm and humid. But the temperature here is definitely a lot more comfortable than where a lot of you are. I know that. Abdo, that last song was called The Last of It. Last of It. Sorry, Last of It is the name of that last song. And you can find that. If you like that song, then you can go check it out here on YouTube. That's from my band. Thank you, Adam, once again. Thank you so much, my friend. Hello, Tabitha. Hello, Lee. Hello, Pons. That's right, Miguel. Pretty much all up and down the East Coast, we have the same time zone. Yeah, so New York City time is all of the East Coast, all the way over to where I live. Okay? If you drive about 1 hour further west, if you go further west 1 hour, then you'll change time zones. Once. Lee, yes, the name of that song is Last of It. That's correct. You can find it on Spotify and Amazon Music and Apple Music. And if you want to, you can go to sugarcampmusic.com. Hello, Carla. Bom dia. Ohio is famous for music? Not particularly famous, no. I mean, a little bit, Abdo. We have a little bit of history, but there are a few places in America that are very famous for music. Cincinnati is not really one of them. I mean, only a little bit. What is that? Hold on, everybody. Amazon, stop. That was funny. Suddenly I heard music playing. I was like, where's that coming from? Anyway. That's right, Tabitha. It's July 3rd where you are because you're on the other side of the world. Hello, Victor. Hola. Hello, Quantum from Kampala. Welcome. Do I like to watch the NBA? Not really, DR. I'm not much of a sports guy anymore in my life, DR. I have so many things I have so many other things to do that I just don't have a lot of time for sports anymore. Sometimes I watch American football during football season, but that's not really now. So, but no, I'm not a big NBA guy. Sorry. Am I happy today? Ching ching. Yeah, I'm okay. I'm all right. Allward wants me to do a pronunciation of the words uncle, uncle, and ankle. Look at my mouth, Allward. Uncle, small mouth, small. It's not open wide and it's not open big. Okay, uncle, ankle. Smile a little bit when you say the word ankle. Ankle. If you smile, then your mouth will be wide, and if you say the word, it will be correct. That's a little trick I learned. Hello, Shojiki. Yes, dumb Amazon. Hello again, Kate. STS, is it an important pronunciation? Can you give me some examples of some words that have that? I can't think of any off the top of my head, Tabitha. Give me some words, and I'll pronounce them for you, and then I'll show you how you can move your mouth correctly. Okay? How can I say solution? Elham, it's pronounced solution. Solution. Hello, Sergey. Hello, Manish. What does Uncle Sam mean, Quantum? Uncle Sam is it's a fictional character. It's a fictional character that was created a long time ago that was, like a nationalistic character of pride. And it was used to try to get people to join the military. So they would say, Uncle Sam wants you. And it meant that they want you to join the military. But it doesn't really mean anything, Quantum. Hello, Eduardo. Hola. What is the thing that makes me love music? Music is the thing that makes me love music, Abdo. Music is... in some ways, I think music is life itself. Yes, I am a drummer. Hello again, Giannis. Hello, Omar. Oh, here we go again. Say water. Water, water, water. Water, 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 water. If you say it very slowly, then you will say water. Water, water, I want a glass of water. But if you say it more quickly and casually, then yes, the hard T becomes more of a soft D. I'd like a glass of water. Again with the bottle of water. Bottle of water. Bottle of water. Bottle of water. Oh, okay, Abatha. I think the first one you wanted to write was artists, maybe? Ists. And then assists and tests. So yes, Tabitha, in that case, yeah, it's an important thing. Yes. Lady ZZ Watch me, Lady ZZ. Son, turn your phone and I will be in your picture. If you watch my live streams, you have to watch them like this. You must watch my live streams with your phone sideways. Okay? And then you will see all of me. All of me. Why not take all of me? Okay? Miguel has a problem with the pronunciation of the word mountain. Yeah, it's a weird word, Miguel, because it looks like it should be, if you pronounce it slowly, it's mountain, mountain, mountain. But when we say it quickly, that N in the middle, almost no one really pronounces that N. So it's just mountain, mountain, mountain. So really, okay, when I say it slowly, it's mountain, mountain, mountain. But when you say it quickly, it sounds more like this. Let me think. Like that. M-ow-ten. Mountain, mountain, mountain. All right, that middle N. I won't say it's silent. It's not silent, but it's so subtle that it might as well be silent. Okay? No problem, no problem, Tabitha. What about these? Entrepreneur and entrepreneurship. Those words, quantum, come from French. So, entrepreneur. Entrepreneur and entrepreneurship. 很高兴认识你，我也很高兴认识你。Kate. Hola, Victor from Guatemala. Mucho gusto. ¿Cómo está? Irina wants me to pronounce the words luxury and luxurious. So yeah, the first one, luxury, luxury, right? It's kind of weird because the luxury, luxury, and luxurious. So again, Irina, it's kind of weird, but if you want to, let me think. Pronounce it like that. Luxury. Lug-jur-y. If you say it quickly, it's pretty much that. Luxury. 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 Luxurious. Luxurious. So yeah, when you say it quickly, even the other word becomes luxurious. Okay? All right. And I do want some people to raise their hand and come on the stage soon. Do I like rap songs and music? Abdo, I like some rap songs and rap music. Kate has problems with the word military. Military. Kate, focus on moving the front of your mouth more, your lips. Okay? Military. Tabitha wants me to pronounce the word important. So yeah, Tabitha, this is a word that I have a little bit of problem with myself recently. There are some people who pronounce this word on TV that I hear, and when I hear them, I feel like it's like, oh no, that's too much of a D. So there are some people who are now saying important, like it's like a T, or I'm sorry, a D in the middle. But no, if it's pronounced slowly, again, it should be important. Okay? But yes, if it's pronounced a little bit more casually and quickly, it will be said as important. So what happens, Tabitha, is this. Say it like this. Important. Okay, and you can even take off the E. You can just say important. Okay? That's kind of the way most Americans say it. All right, let's see. What else do I have here? Shizu wants me to pronounce the word diagnose. Okay, and when you say it quickly, the A becomes more of an So diagnose. Eduardo wants me to pronounce the word sausage and February. So, yeah, first, the word sausage. That one's not too hard, Eduardo. Sausage. Okay? But the second word is a little weird, okay? Because actually, when I was a boy, they did teach me to say February. But for whatever reason, the language mutated over time, and now everyone pretty much says the word February. So they have removed the first R in the word February when they pronounce it. Okay, so when I was a boy, they taught us to say February. But now people are saying February. Okay? Dawn wants me to pronounce the word bourgeoisie. That's a French word. Tishifawen, Dawn. So, bourgeoisie. Right. So, Kate, the word luxury, that when you put it in the middle of the la and it kind of turns it into a G sound more than a hard KS sound. Because the nature of those two letters, U and U, make it difficult for you to pronounce it as luxury. Okay, there are definitely some people who say it that way, and I think that's fine. Both are okay, I would say, Kate. I think. So, Kate, I think you could say luxury, okay, or luxurious, but nearly everyone I know, when I hear that word, it's really more of a G sound than it is a KS sound. Luxurious. Luxury. Okay? Wafa wants me to pronounce the words poet, poem, and poetry. Poets, poems and poetry. Poet. Poem. Poetry. Okay? Ishan Hilal wants me to pronounce the words where, there are, and they are. Where. There are. They are. So look at my mouth. There. They. There are. They are. Thank you, Pons. Can I pronounce the word murder, martyr, and mortar? So, Giannis, murder. That one is definitely a D sound, okay? The word martyr, yeah, again, this is another word where if you say it slowly and with proper diction, then yes, it should be martyr. But nearly everyone, when we say this in speech, it gets spoken a bit more quickly, and because of that, the hard T becomes a soft D. So it goes from martyr to martyr. And then the other word is mortar. And again, same thing. If it's pronounced slowly with proper diction, it should be mortar. But when it's most of the time when it's said in casual speech, it's said more quickly and the hard T becomes a soft D, so it becomes mortar. Everyone, Dawn, everyone. Mayflower wants me to pronounce the word rural and rare. Rural. That one is hard for even native speakers. Rural. Rural. So, Mayflower, it's the same thing as the word 今天的天气就是好热 rural. It's how rural. Okay? Same sound. All right? And Tabitha wants me to pronounce the words war, and were. So, Tabitha, the word war is spelled W-A-R, but the pronunciation is a lot more like W-O-R. War. What things make me angry easily? Frank Lee, things that make me angry easily. I try not to get angry easily, but one thing that I don't like is when people tell me what to do. Like if I'm here and I'm trying to help everyone and I show up every day or almost every day and I'm doing my best to help everyone, but someone will come on here and tell me that I'm not doing enough for them or that I'm not doing a good job or something, and I don't know. That's the only thing that's really annoys me is when someone doesn't appreciate what I do. Ishan wants me to pronounce the word Q. However, Ishan, it's pronounced Q. However, Americans almost never, ever use that word. We don't queue up in America. We line up. We don't get in a queue in America. We get in line. So if we're at a movie theater and we need to buy a ticket, no one is queuing up in America. No one is getting in a queue. We get in line. So if you want to know about the pronunciation of the word queue, ask a British person. Eduardo uses Youglish. Yes, I've seen it before. I've never used it, but I've heard it's pretty good. Abdo, the word is quit and quiet. Quit. Quit being loud. Be quiet. Hello, Yuri. Tabitha wants me to pronounce the word there. There. Tabitha, the word there, They apostrophe R-E, is the exact same sound as the word there, There, and also the same sound as the word there, Their. So there are 3 words in the English language that sound exactly the same. There, There. Over there. I'm going there. Excuse me. So there, There. There, that is their jacket. That is their book. Their, meaning possession. That is something that they own. It's theirs. And there, They apostrophe R-E, that is they are. They are going to the store. They're going to the store. Exact same pronunciation. There. Same. Okay? Yes, Jack, 我是鼓手，同时也是我是英文老师，都可以。Month and months. Miguel, yeah, those are hard. Again, even for Americans, many Americans don't pronounce those words very well, especially months. Months. So, first word is month. Month. The second word is months. Months. And yes, that one is a little hard. You have to think about it. You're welcome, Wafa. You're welcome, Mayflower. Oh, God. Thank you, Kate. I should do better. Okay. I will try to do better, Dawn. So, yeah, Irina, again, those 2 words, those are pronounced the same. Fiancé and fiancé. And again, Irina, you'll have to ask a French person about why those are pronounced that way, because those are French words that we adopted into English. Okay? But yeah, it's kind of funny. How do you know which one is which? Hussein wants me to pronounce the word temperamental. Temperamental. And inevitably. That one's a little hard. It's a lot of pieces. Inevitably. And then the last word, sovereignty. I'm always confused when using these and this. Okay, so these, look how wide my mouth is. These. These. This. This is one. These are many. What things make me relax? Fishing, hiking, good music, sometimes cooking. All right. Hillary wants to come talk to me. All right. So we still have many questions. But Hillary wants to come talk to me. And if you want, let's do this. I want to help some people with your pronunciation on the stage. So now you have to get up and come talk to me. If I can hear you for just a minute or two, then I can fix your pronunciation. I can help you to improve it. All right, so let's talk to Hillary first. Hillary, come on down. Hello, Hillary. How are you?
I'm sorry. Now it's my bedtime, so
I
can I lie
know,
down?
that's okay, no problem. No, you look wonderful.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so Hillary, did you have a question for me about your pronunciation?
About my pronunciation and how to be a native person.
Okay, well, Hillary, when many people ask me that question, and my answer is not the answer that they want to hear. Because let me ask you a question, Hillary. Where do Americans come from?
Where do Americans come from? Of course, Americans come from America.
Well, okay, so every American is born here?
Of course not.
Right. So where did my grandfather come from? Not America.
Where?
Slovakia.
Slovakia.
Yeah.
Slovakia. Can you type below?
Yeah. Slovakia.
Slovakia.
你知道吗？
Slovakia. 我不知道。
不知道，就是
不清楚。
it's a European country, Eastern European country. And my mother's family is from Ireland. Okay? And so,
Ireland.
yeah, my point is, Hillary, that there are only a few people who live in America who can say that they're from America. There's only a few. Those are the Native Americans. Okay? If you're a Native American, then you're really from America. Everyone else, not from America. So, what does that mean? What does that mean? It means we are from everywhere, right? We have every kind of people here, right?
Yeah.
So if America is a country made of people from all countries, then every accent is an American accent.
Yeah.
So that's my point. So I know what you want. You want to sound like me. I understand.
Yeah.
I get it. I know what you mean. But I want you to understand language in a different way. You're focusing on the wrong thing, Hillary. So I do this live stream because I want to help people improve their pronunciation. But I also tell people that your pronunciation is only important if I can't understand you. So
Yeah.
you're trying to improve your pronunciation because you want to make your voice sound like me. But that's not my goal. My goal is to find any words that you say that you can't say clearly and then fix your pronunciation to make them sound better. Because, Hillary, if I give you two cars, I have two cars. You can have one. You can have one car, okay? One car, they're the same car. They're both a Mercedes-Benz, top of the line, really nice car, right? But the one car has no paint at all on the car. But everything else about the car is perfect, okay? But the other car, the engine does not work very well and the tires are not good, but the paint is beautiful. It's amazing paint. It's the most perfect paint job you've ever seen in your life. Which car do you want? Do you want the car with no paint or the car with paint?
Of course, I love the card with no paint.
Right.
Yeah.
Your accent is the paint on the car. It's not important.
So if I try to make people understand me, and we should focus on the contents, and we should focus on what we are thinking about, right?
Right. Yeah. So
Don't just focus on the pronunciation.
my point is I tell everyone that language is not about perfection. Language is about communication and expression. So if you can communicate well and if you can express yourself well, then you have good language. It doesn't matter what your accent is. Okay? Now, there's another thing though that I want to tell you. The world would be a very boring place if everyone spoke English like me. Okay? One of the beautiful things about language is accent. So, when I hear accents, let me show you something. One moment, Hillary. Hillary, I love crayons, Hillary. And crayons, when you buy a box of crayons, you want the box with all the lovely colors in it, right? Nobody wants to buy a box of all black crayons or all gray crayons. You want to buy a box with all of them. I guess your time must have been up, Hillary. I'm sorry. Hopefully you can still hear me, Hillary. All right? So I'm going to keep telling you guys about my theory about accents, okay? So, your accent is your color. I don't want you to lose your color. Your accent is your color, okay? Now, if I try to write my name with this really nice, beautiful, sharp crayon, then I can do it, right? Because this crayon is nice and sharp. But if the crayon is dull, if it's very dull, and I try to write my name very small, I can't write it clearly. So you can't understand. So what do you need to do? Sharpen it. So, I don't want you to lose your accent. No. If you sound like you're from China, great. If you sound like you're from Russia, awesome. If you sound like you're from Japan, wonderful. You don't need to lose your accent. That's quite honestly, it's a waste of time, in my opinion. Okay? But it would be a good idea for you to try to make your language very clear. So, I want you to sharpen your language. I want you to sharpen your pronunciation. I don't want you to lose your accent. Okay? So, language, everybody, is not about perfection. Language is about communication and expression. And your accent is your color. Don't lose your color. Just make your language clear. That's all. Okay? All right. Okay, I'm sorry that I didn't get a chance to actually work with your language. It was Hillary, right? Yeah. There's Hillary. Let's get Hillary back up. Oh, great. Hillary can come back. There we are, Hillary.
Oh, thank you for your, guiding. I think it's really a wonderful talking. Really inspired me a lot.
Well, good. I'm glad. Yeah, that's one of my favorite talks to give because I feel like so many people are so focused on the wrong thing. You guys are trying to learn English. That's like trying to learn how to drive, okay? And if you want to learn how to drive, then you must focus on practicing driving, right? That's what you need to do. Don't worry about the paint on the car. Don't worry about the paint on the car. The paint on the car is the last thing to worry about. It's the last thing to worry about, okay? You first need a good car that runs well, and you need to focus on driving it. Sometimes when people are learning a language, they're focused on grammar and things like that. And when you focus on grammar, that's kind of like when you learn how to drive, but you're not driving, you're just reading a book about how the engine works. It's like
yes, grammar, maybe the rules, right? They can make the sentences together, and just like the tires, and we shouldn't put the tires on the top of the car. We
Right.
should put the tires on the
Right.
bottom of the car, right?
Right.
So the grammar is not the first thing.
It's not the most important, no, right? And babies can speak without really knowing any grammar,
Yes.
right? So that means that grammar is not important in the beginning. You know, it becomes more important because you need to express yourself more clearly. So grammar allows you to express yourself more clearly. But in English, most of the time, even if your grammar is really bad, probably people will still understand you, right? So I always tell people, if I say, I want to go to the store, that's a lot of words. I want to go to the store. But I could say, I want go store, and you'll still understand me, right?
Of course.
Right. So that's why I'm saying that, yeah, grammar is important, but it's not so important. And some of you, you're so worried about your grammar that you won't speak. You're afraid to make mistakes, so you won't speak. And if you're doing that, then you're definitely not going to make any progress. Because guess what? The more mistakes you make, the more progress you make. So if you're not making mistakes, you're not making progress. Okay?
Yeah. So don't be afraid to make mistakes.
That's right. Yeah, I like to think about mistakes kind of like a scientist when they're doing experiments, right? If you do an experiment when you're a scientist, sometimes your experiment is successful and you write down all the data and you say, oh, wow, I learned a lot from that. Sometimes your experiment is not successful, but you still write down all the data and you still learned something from that. So whether it's a success or a failure, you still learn something from them. So make mistakes and be okay with your mistakes. Be happy about making mistakes, because when you make mistakes, it means that you're making progress. If you're afraid to even try, then you're not even going to make a mistake. There's a famous hockey player from Canada. Wayne Gretzky. Mm-hmm. And he had he had a famous quote. He said this famous quote. He said this. Mm-hmm. I'm going to type it for you. You miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. So he's a hockey player, right? He plays hockey. 我忘记中文怎么说，就是那个加拿大的那个运动，那个你知道吗？
曲棍球。
哦，对。
曲棍球。
Yeah. So you've got it's on ice, right? On ice, and you've got the black puck, right? And so Wayne Gretzky is one of the most famous hockey players of all time. And his point is this: if you don't try to make the shot, to make the goal, then you missed. If you didn't even try, you missed. So if you try, maybe you get it. Maybe you don't. But maybe you do. But if you never even try, you won't even get it. So you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. So take a shot. Take a shot means try. Okay? If you try, you can keep moving forward. If you don't try, you're not moving forward. Okay? Yeah.
Yes.
All right, Hillary, do you have any other questions? Or how about, would you like me to fix your pronunciation at all? Do you want me to talk to you about your pronunciation? Sometimes what I do is I just listen to people and then I just kind of tell people like, oh, well, you could work on this or you can work on that. For Chinese people, your pronunciation is actually quite good. The one thing I was going to tell you that's very different is I tell everybody Chinese is a small mouth language and English, especially American English, is a big mouth language. When you speak
Yes.
English, your mouth is big. And that's why it sounds good. Yeah. Everyone look at her mouth. It's perfect. That's so good. Yes.
Pronounce.
That is
Wow.
that is so good. I'm not kidding. That's so good, Hillary. Really, that is the secret to why your English sounds better. Just because your mouth is moving more open. That's
So
it.
the movement should be very wide.
Yeah.
And very, very wide.
Yeah.
Right?
When we do all of our vowels, A, E, I, O, U, A, E, I, O, U.
IOU.
Yeah. Or A, E, I, O, A, E, I, O, And A, E, I 这是大的、中的、小的。A, E, I.
Eh.
A, E, I.
E.
对啊. You got that's
Yes.
it. That's it. Yeah. So, yeah, that's it. You can just practice those. But that's the reason why everyone, if you listen to her, she's from China. She speaks Chinese. But when she speaks English, she uses a big mouth and her English sounds a lot more like a native. So I don't even have to correct you very much at all because you're already doing the one thing I tell everybody to do. Open your mouth more. So good for you.
So much. You know, I have joined your live stream for many times.
Oh, well, good.
I find your speed and you have the fluent expression, and also you move your mouth, and I can see that. I can feel you. You can make the listeners and followers hear you very, very clear.
I'm glad you say that because I try to do exactly that. Yeah. Every time I speak, I try to imagine that I'm on a stage and I'm an actor. And when you're an actor on a stage, that's how you have to speak. Every word has to be clear. And you have to make your mouth move because maybe they can't hear you, but they can see you. So, watch me. Everyone, what did I say? What am I saying?
So here is this question that when I watch the movie, I find the speed is really fast. And if I don't see the subtitle, I can't understand some of them. Maybe I can understand most of them if they speak very, very fast, and I can't understand
Right.
some of them.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Nunu, you had it. I was saying okay. That was right. That was what I was saying was okay. And Hillary. So yeah, lots of people ask me this question too. They say, Teacher Mark, I can understand you completely, but when I watch a movie, I can't understand them. Why? Why can't I understand the guy on TV or the guy in the movie? Okay.
Yeah.
My simple answer is this. I speak better than they do. Some of the people that you're watching, if it's a movie, that's not for learning. That's for entertainment. So, if you're watching Batman or Superman or whatever, the Transformers or Fast and Furious or whatever, those movies are not made for learning. Those movies are made for entertainment. So, there's nobody there saying, oh, this English is not good. You can't say that. Nobody is doing that. So, that means that many of the movies you're watching are good movies for entertainment, but not for English. Okay, so what that means is you have to choose the right movies for learning English. Hillary, if you're a musician and you want to learn an instrument like piano, you don't listen to everybody in the world who plays piano. You listen to
Yeah.
all the best ones. You have to do the same thing with language, everyone. Don't listen to everyone. You have to listen to the best ones. So find the best
You are the best
speakers.
one.
Oh, well, thank you. You're sweet. So find the best speakers and then listen to them, you know? So people like Morgan Freeman, I always mention Morgan Freeman. He's a famous black actor in America, and they always use him in movies because of his voice. And I speak like he does, or I try to, because he is a trained actor. He's a real trained actor. He learned how to speak that well. It's not natural. He learned how to speak that well, everyone. So, for example, Hillary, Eminem is a famous American hip-hop rapper, right? And he's awesome. He's amazing. And he's actually very brilliant. And his raps are written very well and everything. But I won't tell you to listen to that for learning English. Because there are many things that he does that are not correct English. There are no rules in music writing, and there are no rules in making a movie. You can do whatever you want. So maybe the English you're listening to might not be good English, or maybe it's not clear, or maybe it's not what you should be trying to follow. Right? So, everyone, what is my point? My point is this. Sometimes when you go watch a movie, just watch the movie. Just watch the movie and don't try to understand because the guy doesn't speak well. It's not your fault. Okay? Hillary, I speak Chinese and I can understand Chinese pretty well if you speak well. But there are some people that I hear their Chinese and I go, I can't understand anything you say. You're speaking too quickly and your mouth is not clear. So I can't understand what you're saying. That's not my fault. That's their fault. Okay? So that's the same thing for you. That there are some people in America that if you don't understand them, then it is your fault and you need to work on it. You're listening more, right? But there are also some people who maybe they speak poorly. And so if you don't understand, it's not your fault. It's because they speak poorly. Okay? Yeah, it's important to remember that, everyone. Not everything you listen to is good for listening.
Yeah.
Okay? So
So we
find the
should
good
learn
things.
how to choose the right material, and we should find some material that is very, very clear,
You got
and
it.
the content is very suitable for
Right.
us, right?
Yeah. So find an actor that you like the way they speak, and then find everything that they've ever done. You can get every movie and TV show that actor has ever done and just go listen to everything they've done. And find their interviews online, or, maybe they have YouTube interviews where they're just talking, not in a movie, just an interview about their life or how they grew up or where they come from or how they learned how to act, any of those things, right? So find the
Yeah.
people who are good and then start listening to them. Okay? And really try to find one. Try to find one, right? So again, as a musician, when musicians learn an instrument, we start with like our idols, like our heroes, right? And we find one guy who's our hero and then we model them. And we say, "Oh, I want to sound just like that guy." Right? And then maybe we do that for a few years, but then a few years later, we have a different taste in music now. And now we're interested in a different guy, right? And so now we'll listen to everything he does and try to do it like him. And then we'll find another model and try to mimic them. And then we find another model and try to mimic them. And it's interesting because what happens is whoever I was pretending to be, when you put all of those things together, it becomes uniquely me, like my own personal sound. And that's the same thing that's true for you. So if you listen to Morgan Freeman and you listen to Meryl Streep and you listen to Barack Obama, and those three are your models for how you speak, then they will be,
Yeah.
you'll have a unique mixture that's your sound. Okay? Jia wants to know, what does the word mimic mean? Mimic means to pretend to be like something. So if you listen to someone and then you try to make your sound like them, that's mimicking. Okay?
Mimic.
Yeah, to mimic.
Mimic.
All right. Hillary, do you have anything else you would like to ask me about?
Here, I have one more question.
Sure.
When we learn, when the students in China learn English, they should try to learn speaking, writing, reading, and listening. So, and most students focus on passing the examination. So they try to read the passage, read the news, or read the difficult passages full of the difficult structures and the difficult words, because they must read the news online and then pass the examination called 高考 in China, right? So students seldom focus on speaking,
Right.
right? So, and when they try to read the passage, they will spend less time speaking. But after graduating from high school and they enter into the university, they find if they have the chance to speak, they can speak very well.
Right.
Or they're not speak. So here I want to ask you a question that if the students in life really want to practice speaking, at the same time, they want to read more difficult passages to pass the examination, right? Can you give me some suggestions how to help them, read well,
Yeah.
at the same time,
Speak well.
let them focus on speaking?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I can, because their problem is not reading or speaking. The problem is not either of those things. Let me ask you a question, Hillary. What language do you think in?
What language do you think in? When I,
When you think.
when I communicate with you, I think in English.
Good.
Yeah.
But when you're speaking Chinese, 如果你说中文，你想什么？中文。
当然想中文。
对啊, yeah. So, when you speak Chinese, you think Chinese. When you speak English, you think English. So the secret of speaking is thinking. And the secret of writing is thinking. And the secret of reading is thinking. And here's the question, Hillary. How much of your day do you spend thinking in English?
Just chatting with you.
Exactly. And that's the craziest
Just
thing.
chatting on the hologram.
Right. Well, but here's the thing, Hillary. So, Hillary, are you a teacher?
Yeah, I'm a teacher.
Okay. So, then that's the thing that you need to teach your students to do. And this is the one thing that I do differently than everybody else in the whole wide world is my focus is all about thinking. So, Hillary, I spend about half of my day, whatever I'm doing. I don't care if I'm doing gardening or if I'm going to the store or if I'm watching TV. I'm thinking in Chinese. I'm not doing anything differently than I normally do. I just do my normal day, but I use a Chinese brain to do it. And that is like oil on the engine or oil in the engine. It allows the engine to run a lot more smoothly. So some of you, your engine won't work because you have no oil. You need oil. And the way you need oil is you need to learn how to think in English. So you need to teach your students to start trying to spend 10 minutes of their day thinking in English. And then the next week, 20 minutes. And then the next week, an hour. And then the next week, more and more and more. And make them understand that right now, you think the best way you can learn English is if you move to a country where they speak English, right? Everybody thinks, oh, well, if I move to America, then I can learn English really well. It'll be easy, right? But that's crazy because, man, you have to move to a country to learn a language?
No, of course not.
Of course not. That's right. But if you don't move to a country, then there is one thing that you must learn how to do. And that is learn how to change the language that you think in. So I live in America, but I can practice my Chinese all the time because I speak Chinese in my head. All day,
Yeah. For example,
whatever I'm
if
doing.
you see something on the table, you will try to describe it
That's right.
in Chinese.
That's right. Yeah. And if I can't, now I know what I need to learn. So it's a great thing because you'll find in the beginning, people will be scared because it's like, oh, I don't know how to say this and I don't know how to say that. And you don't know how to say a lot. But in time, you'll start to feel like, oh, wow, this is great. And it's very smooth and easy. I'm not asking you to think anything crazy. Start with very simple things. Just your personal self, like, how do you feel? Are you hungry? Are you tired? Are you lazy? Are you late for work? Describe yourself, how you feel. And then I try to get you to learn how to talk about what you need, right? So I need to brush my teeth. I need to make food. I need to go to work. Your basic needs, okay? Then I try to teach you how to answer the questions who, what, when, where, why, and how. Everywhere you go. Everywhere you go. If you go to the grocery store, think who. Who is in the grocery store? Who owns the grocery store? Who works at the grocery store? Whatever. Any kind of who question that you can think of. Be creative. What? What is a grocery store? What do they have? What do they sell? What do I need to buy? When? Where? Why? Ask those questions. That's the next level. The next level after that is trying to think about topics like sports. Can you think about sports? Can you think about basketball or baseball or, football? Or can you think about your hobbies? Your hobbies. What are your hobbies? Can you think about them well in English? Your likes or your dislikes, your interests, your future, your present, your past. These are just topics. Right? So choose a
Yeah.
topic and then think about it. How well can you think about that thing? Okay? Then we go to higher level topics like economics or philosophy or religion or politics or psychology, sociology, right? So everywhere I go, I can think on these levels in Chinese. Right? Now, I'm working on the top levels. I'm working on the higher 2 levels. But in the beginning, I first just started with simple things. Like, if I was hungry, I would try to say, oh, in my head, right? Or, if I was just walking to the park, I could say, 我喜欢这个，我不喜欢这个，我喜欢这个，我不喜欢这个。Just simple things. That's it. So I was just practicing simple Chinese, okay? And now I can think in a lot more complicated Chinese. Still not super complicated. I can't have like a conversation about philosophy in Chinese, but I can think about many things. Okay? So for me, when people say that there are 4 parts of language learning, reading, writing, listening, and speaking, I say that's stupid. There are 5. Thinking is the most important one. Because if you cannot think well in English, then you cannot write, read, speak, or listen well in English. Okay? So
Yeah, good idea.
the new measure for you, for all of your students, I want you to tell them that what their goal should be is every day try to start thinking in English a little bit more. So every day, try to think a little bit more in English. Just when you wake up in the morning, you know, try to think about what you need to do and use English. And one day you can do it for 10 minutes. The next day you can do it for 20. The next week you can do it for an hour. Okay? And then hopefully you'll reach a point where you can just think in English anytime you want, like a switch. Okay. Oh, we lost you, Hillary. Yeah, I know there was an echo there, Akito. I don't know how to get rid of that. Sorry. Okay, well, that was good, though. I think she had some good questions. I hope that was helpful to all of you. Thinking is really important, everybody. Thinking is really, really important. Okay, let's see. I have some other people who raised their hand and they want help with their pronunciation. So let's see. How about Dr. Kamrul in Bangladesh? Hello, Dr. Kamrul. Can you hear me? Dr. Kamrul, are you there?
Oh yeah, I'm here, but I'm trying to off my camera, but I don't know how to do that.
Turn on or off?
Turn off, yes.
It is already off. I cannot see you.
Yes, because it's dark place, that's why you can't see me.
Oh, well, I can turn it off like this if you want, if that's better. It's off.
Yeah, it's better. It's so
Yeah,
much better,
it's off. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so
thank you.
hello, Dr. Kamrul. You're from Bangladesh, right?
Yes, I'm from Bangladesh, sir.
Okay.
How are you?
I'm good. And did you have a question for me about your pronunciation?
Yeah, first I want to say like I'm not a doctor, yeah. MD
Oh.
it stands for Muhammad, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry about that because in English, MD stands for doctor. It stands for
I know,
medical
I
doctor.
know. But-
Okay, I
yeah,
understand.
But in some Asian countries,
I understand
but in
now.
some
That's interesting.
Yeah,
I
in some
didn't know that.
yes, like in some Muslim countries, MD stands for Muhammad.
That's
yeah.
interesting.
So many Muslim countries, yeah, they use MD in front
I
of
did
their
not
name.
know that. I mean, I know Muhammad is the most popular first name in the whole world. So that's funny. I just did not know that that's an abbreviation. So thank you for explaining that to me. So, Muhammad, how can I help you?
Yeah, I'm here for practicing my English, but I can see like it's for pronunciation practice. So I have some question related to pronunciation. Yeah.
Sure. Go ahead.
Yeah, first one is very general. I think so many people asked you. I mean, what do you think? How can people improve their pronunciation?
Okay. Well, that's a big question. So, there are a few things you can do, Muhammad. But if you want to find how you can personally improve your pronunciation, then here's the way that I recommend. I want you to think about 10 words that are difficult for you to say well in English. Like what words are hard for you, right? Then write those words down. So think about 10 words in English that you know you have a pronunciation problem with those words and write them down. Then I want you to look at those words and figure out what is the sound or maybe sounds in that word that are difficult for you. Is it the TH sound? Is it the V sound? Is it the R or the L? What sound is difficult for you? Okay? And then once you find the word and you find the sound that's difficult for you, then you need to do a little research. You have to go search and find all of the other words in English that have the same sound, right? So if your problem is with the letters TH, then you need to find all the TH words that you can practice for you to work on that. If your problem is with the letters OR, then you need to find all the words that have OR in them and then write them down and practice them. All right?
Yeah. So, yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so sir, I actually wasn't that much focused on pronunciation. I was just like listening, and I was thinking like it will be improved. So there was one sound. I mean, I noticed that there is one sound I am having hard time to pronounce it. So it's like schwa sound. There is a like sound schwa sound.
Yeah, the
One of my
schwa.
friends. Yeah, schwa sound. Yeah, it is very difficult for me to understand the schwa sound. Can you help me here?
Yeah. Hold on one moment. Let me find something here. Can't type. All right, so the schwa is the most common vowel sound, but let me try to explain something to you. If you go to America and you walk down any street in America and you ask any person, can you tell me about the schwa sound? None of them will know what you're talking about. None of them.
Yes.
No native speaker ever learns the word schwa. Okay? We don't. It's only something that is taught to non-natives who are learning English, okay? But it's important to understand that because, to be honest with you, sometimes, Muhammad, sometimes the way they explain English, especially phonetics, in my opinion, it's too much. It's overthinking. And because it's overthinking, you're making it harder than it needs to be. So that's why no American knows the word schwa. And if you ask them, can you explain the schwa? They'll say, what? Huh? What is a schwa? Okay? So, Jiz says in England, I think they know the schwa. Well, that's possible. English people might be better than Americans in that regard. Okay? But Americans
I think
don't.
so many people will not understand it.
Yeah.
So many people will not understand native speakers because they actually don't focus about logic part. They actually focus about the practice part.
That's exactly right. And that's the reason why so many people around the world don't speak well because they're focused too much on the technicality and not enough on the practicality.
Yes, that's it.
And I always preach practicality before technicality. Practicality before technicality, everyone. Yeah. So if you want to know what is the schwa sound, so let me show you. One moment. There it is. Okay, so the schwa is an unstressed vowel that sounds like a soft short U, or a short I, So, banana. Banana is, there's one right there. Banana. Camel. Ill. It's an I sound, right? President. Lemon. It's an O, but the sound is not an O sound. It's an Lemon, right?
Yeah.
And amount. and occur, occur, occur. So basically, the schwa is the sound and the I sound. So any words that have or I. It doesn't matter what the spelling is. It's only based on the sound. Okay? But again, Muhammad, I don't encourage anyone to really focus on phonetics. I do encourage you to focus on phonics. Phonics are not the same as phonetics. Phonetics is trying to figure out how can I write down the sounds in English with a symbol. But no native speaker learns those. We don't know those. So I can't read those, and most people I know cannot read those. Okay? And that's when I start to say that for some people, it might be useful. But for many, many people, phonetics is overthinking, and it's going to make it, you're just thinking too much. You're just thinking too much. Yeah. And sometimes you just need to stop thinking so much and just listen and do it. Okay?
Yeah, just practice.
Yeah, that's right.
So I think, yeah, you're right. I think that when people are overthinking, it's actually slow down their progress. Yeah, it actually slow down.
That's exactly right. Right.
Yeah.
Mohammed, when you walk, do you think about each muscle that you use?
No, of course not.
Of course not. That's right, because that's the way we're supposed to do things. But with language, some people are focusing on each muscle that's moving. They're focused too much on the grammar, or they're too focused on the phonetics, or they're too focused on the small parts. They're not focused on the actual language. They're focused on the moving parts of the language.
Yes, yes, that's true.
Okay?
Yeah. So there was a there is a famous TED Talk video, and he has an American, and he also told the same thing, that we should focus on context or comprehension to learn the language,
Right.
not about just word and grammar that much. I mean, those can help us a little bit to
Right.
improve. To improve our language, but most work, our first priority should be practice.
Right.
But first priority should be immerse ourselves into the language environment.
Yeah,
That's how
I always-
native speaker learn, that's how we will learn.
I always like to use the analogy of learning how to drive, right? There are a few ways to learn how to drive, but in America, when you want to learn how to drive, the most important thing is driving. You get in the car and you practice driving. So if you want to learn how to drive, you don't read a book. You get in the car and you drive, right? So the same thing is true with language. If you're learning a language, you need to focus on using the language more than anything else. And spoken language is the most important way to use language. Or I should say it's the first, most primary way, is maybe a better way to put it. So, learn how to speak, right? And Muhammad, many people, it's like they're learning how to drive by reading a book. They're not getting in the car. They've never gotten in a car. They've only read a book about a car.
Yes.
And then they're not even reading about driving. They're reading about how the engine works or how the brakes work, and guess what, guys? If you so I can drive a car, but guess what? I cannot fix my car engine. I don't know anything about car engines, but I can drive. So
Yes.
that's what you need to remember about language, is that grammar is valuable, but grammar is not the point. Some of you are treating language like grammar is the point of language. No, communication is the point of language. Grammar is something that facilitates communication. Grammar facilitates communication. But as I've said many times before, even a baby can speak and tell you what they want. They say mama, and you know what they mean. You don't, when a baby says mama, you don't go, oh, no, 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 the word is mother. You're wrong, baby. No, the baby spoke. It used communication. And that's the point of language. So, yeah. I'd like to do one thing with you, Mohammed. Could you do me a favor? I would like for you to, I want to hear a little bit of Bangladeshi language because I've never actually heard any Bangladeshi spoken before. So can you do me a favor? Can you just speak for a minute in Bangladeshi and just tell me your name and where you're from and what you like to do for fun? Just like 1 minute. I just want to hear you speak in Bangladeshi. Could you do that for me?
Yes, sure. আমার নাম কামরুল হাসান and actually আমার নাম মোহাম্মদ কামরুল হাসান এবং আমি বাংলাদেশ থেকে সো বাংলাদেশে আমার জন্ম আমি বাংলাদেশের নাগরিক আমি একজন ছাত্র এবং আমি এখন বর্তমানে মাস্টার্সে পড়ছি সো আমি রাষ্ট্রবিজ্ঞান নিয়ে মাস্টার্সে পড়ছি
Okay, good. No, that was good. That was brilliant. No, so why did I want to hear you? Why did I want to hear you speak Bangladeshi if I don't understand Bangladeshi? Why did I want to listen? Does anyone know why?
Because it's the way to learn.
It's because I was listening to the rhythm of your language.
Yes.
I was trying to hear the rhythm of Bangladeshi language, which sounds very much like Hindi to me. It's very similar to Hindi. Yeah. The rhythm sounds similar. And if you know the rhythm of your language and you know the rhythm of the language you're speaking, that's important because you need to understand the difference in the rhythm. So, Mohammed, American English is a much more flowing language. It's not as rhythmic. So, when you speak English, try to make your words a little bit more long and flowing like this. And that will make it sound more American. Because right now, when you speak English, I still hear the Bangladeshi rhythm. Like I hear the rhythm of your native language. When you speak English, I kind of hear a little bit like this, like it's a little bit stuttered, like rhythm, like this. But I want you to make your words a little longer and more flowing like this. Can you try to do that for me? Just say, hello, my name is Mohammed.
Hello, my name is Kamrul Hassan and I'm from Bangladesh.
Good. That was good. Kamrul Hassan. Good. Now, I want you to say again, but I want you to make it a little bit more, long. So, hello, my name is Kamrul Hassan. You try.
Hello, my name is Kamrul Hassan.
Much better. Much, much better. That was more flowing, and that was more like the American English rhythm. So, some of you, you're trying to understand how to sound more like an American, and you're focused on things like accent, and that is important, but rhythm is also important. Okay? Rhythm is very important to a language. So, when you speak English, try to remember that it's more like singing. Make the words long like this. Okay?
Yeah.
But that was quite good. So, yeah, keep working on it, okay, Kamrul?
I think I'm improving very fast. Like on maybe 6 or 7 years, Sorry, not 6 or 7 years. Actually, 7 or 8 months ago, I mean, I wasn't good to speak. I couldn't actually speak English at all.
Wow.
But now I can speak and I can understand you fully.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
So
good for
I'm
you.
improving very fast.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. And remember what I said earlier, that really the secret of learning any language well is just one simple thing. Start thinking in that language.
Yes.
Yeah, it's really crazy how many people don't recognize that. But Kamrul, I studied German in high school. I learned German for 3 years, but I can't speak any German now. And the reason why is because the entire time when I was learning German, I was still thinking in English. No one told
Yes.
me that you need to start thinking in German.
Yeah.
So
That's
yeah,
true.
it's the secret of language, everybody. There are 5 parts to language learning: reading, writing, listening, speaking, and the most important one is thinking. And so what you need to do is start thinking about, how much time do I spend thinking in English? Do I spend 5 minutes of my day thinking in English? Do I spend an hour a day thinking in English? How much do I spend thinking in English? How much can I spend? Can I spend all day thinking in English? Can I do it? Try. And yes, I told you, there will be many things that you don't know how to say. Good. That's what you need to learn. That's how you find the things you need to learn. If you don't know how to think it, then you don't know how to say it. Now you know what to know, to study, right? And some people will say, but what if your grammar is not right? You're thinking, but your grammar is not correct. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if your grammar is incorrect when you're thinking, because this exercise is not about grammar. This exercise is just about trying to get your brain to think in a different language. That's it. Okay? So don't worry about the grammar. Just the grammar will get better in time. But in the beginning,
Yes, yes,
yeah,
that's it.
if your grammar is not that good in the beginning when you're thinking in English, that's okay. That's all right. Doesn't matter. Just try to think in English as much as you can, even if it's bad English. Okay? So, bad English is better than no English. Okay? When you're talking about thinking in your mind, bad English is better than no English. So I would rather you try to think in English, and sure, maybe your grammar is not very good. Who cares? But you're thinking in English. So good. Okay? So, Kamrul, I'm going to let you go, my friend, but thank you for coming on my stage, and make sure you follow and come back and see me again, okay?
Yeah, thank you so much for your time. It was very, it was nice to talk with you, and I got really good advice from you.
You're welcome, my friend. I'll see you next time, okay?
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye-bye. Yeah, everybody, I have some weird tips, don't I? My tips are a little weird. You know, thinking, rhythm, those are not the tips that you hear in most language classes, right? That's because I'm not like most teachers, because I'm a drummer, right? I'm a musician. So I am teaching you things that I think about as a musician that learned language. Okay? And yes, bad English is better than no English. All right? You are welcome, my friend. I'm glad to hear that. Thank you, Mehdi. Thank you, Wow, everybody really likes that advice. Thank you. Oh, wow, so many people raising their hand now. Okay, please be patient. I'm only going to put one person on the stage at a time. I know you can do 3, but there's a clock, right? There's a timer, and I cannot see the timer. So I can't have more than one person on my stage because I can't see the timers, okay? So let's try, is it Gis from France? Hello.
Hello.
How are you? Bonjour. How do I say your name? Is it Gis?
Yes, Ghislaine. My complete name is Ghislaine.
Ghislaine. Okay.
Yeah.
So, Ghislaine, how can I help you with your pronunciation today? Did you have a question for me?
I haven't specific question, but I would like to be corrected.
Okay. Sure.
Because it's very important to me.
Okay. All right. Sure. Well, your English sounds pretty good already. What part of France do you live in?
I'm living in the south. I'm 100 kilometers south of Lyon in the east.
Okay, south of Lyon. Okay. All right. And what do you like to do for fun?
I like to travel.
You like to travel? Okay.
Yeah. I like hiking. As soon as it's possible, I go to hike.
Okay. Yeah, I like hiking too.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love animals too.
You like animals too. Okay. All right.
And nature.
All right, good. Okay, so again, your English is quite good. There's nothing wrong with your English right now, okay?
Right now.
Yeah, you sound fine. You sound perfect as far as I'm concerned. Why? Because I understand every word that comes out of your mouth. Now, if there were a few words that I don't understand, maybe that's a problem. But all of your words are clear. You just have a French accent, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, and it's difficult to change that.
That is right. That's right. But I can give you a couple of tips that might help you try to sound a little bit more like an American, okay? So, the first one is very simple. French is a very sophisticated language. The word sophisticated is a French word, right? So, and
a lot of French words
that's
in
right.
the English language.
That's exactly right. And the French language is very sophisticated, so it's a very sophisticated look when you speak too. But Americans are crude.
Okay.
So
okay, I understand.
be crude. We open our mouths really wide and big when we speak, and that's one of the most important parts of sounding like an American. And so I don't want it to be like just sound crude. There's more to it than that, okay? Just like you try to think about your pronunciation when you speak, I try to think about my pronunciation when I speak, and I really try to move my mouth a lot, like an actor does for proper diction, right? So, Ghislaine, I try to think about it just like acting. It doesn't matter what language you speak. If I go see a French play, I can understand a lot, but I don't speak French because I can see their mouth and I can see their movement and I can see their face. So you have to remember that the way you move your mouth and even the faces you make, that is language too. That's language too, right? So, I teach everyone to speak with a big mouth. English is a big mouth language. That's what I always say. English is a big mouth language. And we focus on the vowels, right? So A, E, I, O, U. A, E, I, O, U. And you can see how careful I try to be when I pronounce them, right? A, E, I, O, U. And I over-exaggerate my mouth when I practice. This is another important point of language, everyone. Language is about muscles, right? You're moving your muscles, and they have to move a certain way, right? And so it's about muscle movement, right? You have to have the same muscle movement. But when you do any kind of muscle movement, when you're learning how to teach your muscles what to do, in the beginning, you should teach them to make exaggerated movements. Big exaggerated movements. Why? Why should you do that? So I teach the drums, Ghislaine. And sometimes my students, they come in and they try to play the drums and they say, I can't do it, Teacher Mark, I can't do it. And it's because they're moving very small movements. Your brain works on electricity. And every muscle you move sends an electrical signal to your brain. And if you send a small signal, your brain gets a small signal. If you send a big signal, your brain gets a big signal. So when you're learning anything that's physical, learn with exaggerated motion. And in time, that exaggerated motion will become more natural and smaller and very smooth. But in the beginning, it's important to exaggerate. Yeah. Like an actor, we speak big mouth. And, I think of a famous French actor, Gerard Depardieu, right? Again, when he's doing Shakespeare or something, right? I always try to remind people that language is like music. If I write music on the page, there's no meaning yet. There's no meaning until I play it. Then when I play it, I can give it meaning. I can give it. The same thing is true with words, right? So if the words are on the page, I can say to be or not to be. Or I can say to be or not to be. That is the question, right? So I am putting the meaning into the words. The words have no meaning until I give them meaning. Right? You have to breathe life into those words and give them meaning, just like music. Same thing. Okay? So let's get back to some specific points for you. The two suggestions I have for you are, one, make a bigger mouth and really try to be more crude. Be more crude, because that's the way an American mouth moves. It's less sophisticated. It's more open and just big, okay? And then the second thing is rhythm. French language, again, has a beautiful rhythm to it. So once again, everybody, could you do me a favor, Ghislaine, and can you just give yourself a 1-minute introduction in French? Just say something about who you are, where you're from, and what you like in French, just so I can listen and hear your rhythm. Go ahead.
Donc, je suis française, donc je vis en France. J'habite pas très loin de Lyon, puisque je suis à une centaine de kilomètres de Lyon. Donc, c'est pratiquement le sud de la France, pas tout à fait, mais pas très loin je suis pas très loin de la Côte d'Azur, on va dire, à peu près à 2h30. Voilà.
Oh, that's beautiful. Okay, so now French is a very flowing language, very flowing. Right? So I always teach people there's two words that we learn in music that are Italian words. We learn the word staccato and legato. Staccato means short and sharp. So when you hear anything, that's staccato. And legato means long and flowing, like this, right? And so French is much more long and flowing, right? English is also a flowing language. The words flow into each other. And that's part of the what you need to listen to, everyone. Rhythm is part of language. Rhythm is part of language, and you need to know. So I don't speak French, but if I read something in French, I can read it, right? If I know enough about the pronunciation that I can read it, right? And I know enough about the rhythm that when I read it with the French rhythm, and I try to imagine a French person, the way that they move their mouths, just the same as when I'm playing music. If I play rock and roll, I think about what a rock and roll drummer looks like. If I play jazz, I think about what a jazz drummer looks like, right? There's a different look. There's a different feel. The same thing is true for language. If you switch the way you look, you can change the way you sound. Yeah. So those are the two things that I would suggest for you to think about is your rhythm and your just making your mouth bigger. Okay. Because, when you speak English, you have French rhythm. You have beautiful French rhythm. I hear it when you speak, it's very, that's the way I hear French. And it reminds me of, I used to watch French cooking classes online and stuff. And when I would hear the French, I always heard this there's this rhythm to French. It's very beautiful rhythm that the way they speak is very rhythmic and beautiful and flowing. And that's important in language, everyone. You have to understand the rhythm of the language you're trying to speak. Okay? And American language, it depends on who's speaking, right? Because we're a mixed culture, it's hard to tell you what we really are. We're just a mix of everything, so it's really hard to put your fingers on what we really are. But that's another point that I like to make to people is I like to tell you, you don't need to sound like me, okay? Because America is a country made of people from everywhere. And if America is a country made of people from everywhere, then that means every accent is an American accent. So when my grandmother came here, she was from Slovakia, but she had a slight Slovak accent. That doesn't mean she's not American because she has an accent. No, she's American, but she has an accent. And my neighbor from India and my neighbor from, Brazil, they're American too, even if they have an accent. So don't worry about your accent. Worry about your clarity. Clarity is the only thing that is important. And that's why I told you your English is great, because every word you said, I understand. That's the only thing that's important. Okay?
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. And you speak really well. So be proud.
Yeah. I'm not sure, but it's encouraging. Yeah.
Well, good. That's my job. That's exactly what I'm supposed to do here, right? So have fun with it and relax. And, remember that language is just about communication, people. We're just trying to talk to each other. That's all. Language is about making your ideas happen in someone else's mind.
Yeah, but you always want to be better.
Of course. Yeah, of course you do, right? But don't let good be the enemy of perfect. Good is still good, and yours is good. Yours is very good. And sometimes we focus on the small things that don't matter when the big things are already fine. Okay? So you're doing great, and thank you for coming on my stage, and I'll see you next time. Okay? Make sure you follow.
Thank you to you. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
All right. I think I have time for maybe one more. One more. Who can I help? Who can I help? Who can I help? Let's see. How about we'll get Andrew. I haven't talked to Andrew in a long time, and Andrew's one of my longest followers, so I'm going to see if I can help Andrew. Andrew, do you want to come up? Oh, Andrew's gone. No, what happened, Andrew? Okay, how about Hussein in, I think, UAE? Hello, Hussein. Hello, my friend. Can you hear me? Hussein, can you hear me, my friend?
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, I hear you. Good evening.
Hello, how are you?
Great. And you?
I'm very well. I'm very well. Did you have a question for me about pronunciation?
Yeah, you can advise me for how I can spell some letters in English to become like native. For example, I have some problem with the letter R and L. Sometimes because you know Arabic people, he say, for example, ra, not ar.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So like when I say the word, when I say thank you in Arabic, it's shukran, shukran, kra, kra, kra. Is that right?
Shukran.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
Not shokran, shokran, shokran. It's not kra, it's kra. Yeah, so there's a difference between Arabic R and American R. You're right. And the difference for the R sound is the Arabic R sound is up against the top of your roof of your mouth. So when I say shukran, kra, kra, it's almost like the Spanish L. So the difference, though, Hussein, if you watch the American R sound, the tongue is right in the middle of the mouth, and it does not go up against the top. So what you can do is practice the word car. The word car. It's a very short word.
Car.
Yeah. Now watch my mouth and watch my tongue. Car.
Car.
Car. One more time.
Exactly.
You try one more time. Car.
Car.
That's better. That's better. Make your mouth bigger, Hussein. Make your mouth bigger. Car.
Car.
Ooh, much better. Much better. One more time. Bigger. Again.
Car.
That's a big, big improvement. That's a big, big improvement, Hussein. So the American R sound is a very big open mouth. R. 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 Are you going to the park?
Are you going to the park?
That was good. Yeah. Park the car.
The car.
Park
Yeah.
the car. Yeah, park the car.
Park the car.
Park the car in the yard.
Park the car in the yard.
Pretty good, but I want you to open your mouth more. Bigger, bigger. Park the car in the yard. And be careful with your tongue. Relax your tongue.
Okay.
Try again.
Park the car in the yard.
Much better, much better. There's an improvement there. I can hear an improvement. So that's what you need to do is find all the R sound words like car and park and yard and write them down and practice them and think about what I was talking about. Make your mouth big, real big. Okay? The bigger you make your mouth, the more your tongue will be in the middle. But if your mouth is small, your tongue is going to want to go up. Your tongue is going to want to go up and do the Arabic R. Okay? But make your mouth bigger and your tongue will have less room, or I should say more room, and so it won't go up to the roof of your mouth. Okay? So try one more time. Car. Real big. R. Car.
Car.
Much better, Hussein. Much, much better. Again, everybody, a big part of American English is just having a big mouth. If you have a big mouth, sometimes the sounds, they just come out a lot more clear, a lot more like an American. Just because your mouth is bigger, like an American. Okay? So, Hussein, that was already an improvement. I think you just need to do the same thing. If you said you also have trouble with L words, so, find some L words that you can practice. Find some R words that you can practice. And sit down and focus on making them big and exaggerated. And yeah, Hussein, it's going to be weird and awkward and uncomfortable and maybe a little bit funny. That's learning, everyone. If you want to learn, then you have to be willing to be uncomfortable and awkward and feel funny. Because in the beginning, that's what you need to do to learn well. So, are you more interested in looking cool or are you more interested in learning? So, yeah, I know you're interested in learning, right? So that's good. Yeah. So just remember that, everybody. It doesn't matter what you look like. It matters if it works. And if you exaggerate your motions, it will look funny, but it will work. Okay? And when a musician is practicing, a professional musician, when we practice, it doesn't sound good. Do you know why? Because when a professional musician is practicing, they want to challenge themselves. So they're trying to do difficult things. They're not doing easy things that they do well. So when you practice, you should push yourself and challenge yourself and do things that are not easy. Okay? And the more you do that, then when you perform, it will be good. So practice is not supposed to sound good. Practice is supposed to be challenging. Performance is supposed to sound good. Practice is supposed to be improving. Okay? And if you're not challenging yourself, then you're not improving. Okay?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. So when you're practicing, everybody, practice the things that are hard for you. Don't work on the things that are easy for you. That's already easy for you. You don't need to do that, right? So, Hussein, that was already a big improvement, my friend. Did you have any other questions for me today?
Yeah, I have also other questions, please. I have a little problem when some words have like trump. When T and R come together. Yeah. Sometimes I have problem in these words, exactly.
Let's see. One moment. Let me find something for you.
Travel, trump, train.
Well, you're doing the right thing, Hussein. You're doing exactly what I would do, which is you are finding all the words that have TR and you're practicing them. Train, trouble, trumpet. Yeah, okay. Here is a tongue twister for TR. Let's see. You can try this one. Don't trouble trouble until trouble troubles you.
Okay. It's amazing sentences. Okay.
Okay, and then here's another one.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll give you a couple. I'll just give you a couple of tongue twisters to practice for TR sounds. Two trucky truckers truculently truckling to have truck to truck, two trucks of truck.
Really a great example.
Yeah, well, those are really hard, but that's the point. That's the point, Hussein, is if that's really hard, if you can do that, then you can say TR when you need to say the word tree.
Yeah, exactly. And this is example, I guess, after muscle of my tongue come good when I spell that.
Well, it's just, Hussein, it's just, this is about coordination. Coordination means muscles learning how to move, right? And right now, your muscles have already learned how to move in one language, and now they don't know that you're speaking another language. So your muscles are still trying to move in the Arabic way, right? So when you learn a new language, everybody, guess what? You also have to learn new muscle movements. That's part of it. It's a big part of it. Is how do you move your mouth? In one language, in some languages, they move their mouth completely differently than in another language. And if you don't understand how they move their mouth, you'll never be able to sound like them. So you need to think about language on different levels, everybody. You're just thinking about vocabulary and grammar, but what about your rhythm? And what about your, how your mouth position is, or your movements, your muscle movements? This is another way to think about language, and it's kind of important.
For that, I think the important thing to practice English is the speaking and sometimes reading. Otherwise, I think not have a effect in the learning English.
Well, Hussein, I think a little differently than that. I think that the important thing in learning any language is not reading, writing, listening, or speaking. I think that the important thing of learning any language is thinking.
It's thinking. Exactly. Okay. It's thinking.
Yeah. So can you think in English? That's the question.
Yeah, I think in English.
Yeah,
I can think in
right. So good. That's good. If you can, that's good. If you can't, that's a problem. And, Hussein, there will be some things that you don't know how to think in English, right? You know how to think it in Arabic, but you just don't know how to think that thing in English yet. But that's why it's so great to practice thinking, because when you think, your brain goes everywhere and it goes anywhere it wants to go. It doesn't know what you know or what you don't know. It just goes where it wants to, right? So you'll find some things that you know and you'll say, oh, but wait a minute. I don't know how to say flower yet. Or I don't know how to say this word. I don't know how to say that yet. Now you've got some new things to learn. That's why thinking is so awesome when you're learning a language, because thinking can help you know all the things that you don't know.
Yeah, exactly. And you tell important rule and a great rule. You tell when you drive car, you don't focus on
The engine.
on the car.
Yeah.
On engine. You focus on driving.
That's
just.
right. Yeah.
That's mean when I speaking, like when I speaking with teacher Mark, this is, I think, is great for me and useful more than other thing.
Well, sure. Any kind of talking in interaction, real talking or real interaction is good for you, of course. But, again, I just try to remind everybody that it's just one of those crazy things that for hundreds of years around the world, maybe even thousands, we've been learning languages, but we've never, ever talked about thinking. We've only talked about reading, writing, listening, and speaking. No one ever talks about thinking. And that is the craziest thing to me, because that's how I learned how to speak Chinese. When I learned how to think in Chinese, I was like, oh, wow, look at that. I can think in Chinese all day. Now I can practice all day because I'm just thinking like I do all the time anyway. Okay?
Yeah, you're thinking in Chinese every time, yeah? Every
Right.
moment?
Well, not every moment, but I try to think about, I try to think in Chinese as much as I can all day. As much as I can, right? So whenever I'm doing anything, if I go to the store, I'm trying to think in Chinese. When I'm driving, I try to think in Chinese. If I'm watching TV, I try to think in Chinese. If I'm doing my gardening or if I go hiking, I try to think in Chinese. Okay?
Okay, let me know. Now, when you're thinking, for example, in Chinese, and you don't know the meaning of this word, what you do?
I write it down, right? So if I say, oh, well, this is something I don't know how to say, like I have to figure that out. So if I'm trying to think in Chinese, but I don't know how to say that thing in Chinese, I do know how to say it in English. So I'll write that down in English, and now I have homework. So I have a note in my phone, and everywhere I go, if I think of something that I don't know how to say that, I don't know how to think that, I write it down.
You write?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now I
Right
have a
down.
note that tells me later, oh, look, there's something you need to research and find the answer.
Exactly.
So that's
Okay.
what I do. Yeah. And, you know,
This is the
sometimes maybe, sometimes I forget, right? Sometimes I go, oh, well, I need to find that thing, but I don't know how to say it. And maybe I forget and I don't remember until later, but that's okay. You know, it'll come up again. It'll come up again. You'll find it again. Don't worry. But yeah, you just try to make the progress you can. In the beginning, Hossein, I could only think the most basic thoughts in Chinese. But the more I tried, the more I could do.
exactly.
Yeah. So, and really, it's the only reason why anyone thinks my Chinese is good. My Chinese is really not that good. It's only because I can speak with a Chinese mind. When I speak Chinese, I'm thinking in Chinese, so it comes out a little bit more in a more flowing way, so you think it's better. But my vocabulary is not really that huge, and my knowledge of Chinese grammar is not really that great. But I know enough that I can use what I know. And if it's not quite right, that's okay. It's close enough. In Chinese, they say chabador. Chabador means close enough. So,
Okay, and I guess after I use this technique in I thinking in English, after I guess my mind quickly switched to English.
yeah, it's almost like a switch. That's right. Yeah, that's kind of the way I think about it. It's like a little switch on my neck, and I can go, oh, Chinese brain, English brain. You know, yeah. And that's kind of how it is, you know, that's, and sometimes it gets confusing. Sometimes your brain, like, sometimes I'll be thinking in Chinese and somebody will ask me a question in English, but my brain is still thinking Chinese. So then when I reply to them, I speak in Chinese. You know, I'm still thinking in Chinese, so I speak in Chinese, and they'll say, what? Huh? So, Hossein, I need to let you go, my friend, because it's time for me to wrap up my live stream and go get some lunch. But thank you so much for coming on my stage, and you had some great questions, and I hope I was helpful to you.
Okay, and I this is my dream to meet you in the stage, and I wish from long time to meet you in the stage
Well, you got your wish. I hope it was everything you wanted.
because you give us confidence to speak English.
Well, I do my best. I do my best. A teacher's job, more than anything else, should be motivation and inspiration. That should be the first thing a teacher starts with, is motivation and inspiration. So that's good. I'm glad that you guys are motivated and inspired. So thank you very much, Hossein, and make sure you follow and come back and see me again.
What is your note about my English? The last thing, please, you can tell me.
Hossein, I couldn't hear you. You were breaking up a little bit. Could you say
Recommendation, my English.
your English? Your English is good. Your English is good. Again, I can hear your Arabic accent, but it doesn't matter because I understand your words. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
So don't worry about your accent. Worry about your clarity. Let me say that one more time, people. Don't worry about your accent. Worry about your clarity. Okay?
Okay, indeed, exactly.
All right, Hossein, take care, my friend. I'll see you next time. All right?
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
Nice to meet you.
Ah, Adam, you're so kind, Adam. Adam's always on my team, man. You're so great. Yeah. Oh, look at Leo. He's doing a whole wrap up here. He's got thinking, rhythm, big mouth, new muscle movements, tongue twisters. That's right. I cover a lot of territory, don't I, Leo? So everybody, before I go, let me give you this. If you like those tips that I was just giving you, if you go here, this is my YouTube. That YouTube video is Teacher Mark's Essential English Tips Part 1. Almost all of my best ideas about language learning are on that video. Okay? So, watch it. Watch it and share it, please. Share. I know it's 2 hours long. Who cares that it's 2 hours long? Share it, please. Okay? And if you want to follow me, go to this Hello Talk moment, and you can find my Facebook and my YouTube and my TikTok and my email and all of that stuff. So go to this link, and you can subscribe and follow me on all my channels. Okay? And right now, if you go to YouTube, on my YouTube channel, there are about 20 videos, full, complete live streams that you can watch with a lot of great tips. Okay? So there's that, all right? And also, if you like my teaching and you think that my teaching has been helpful to you, actually, I think I gave you the wrong one. I did, didn't I? I did. If you want to follow me, go here. If you want to follow me, go here. If you want to write a testimonial, then go here. Hunter, just wait a minute and I'll answer your question, Hunter. So, if you want to tell me about how you like my teaching, go to that link, okay? I work hard for you, and I want to know if you appreciate it. So, if you like my teaching, or if my teaching has helped you, please go tell me about it. Okay? Please go tell me about it. All right. Also, before I forget, don't forget to send me your videos. Send me your questions. If you want me to answer your questions, you can send me a video. Send me a video to my email address. Okay? If you send me a video, 1 minute video, 1 minute video, one video, one question. So you can say, "Hello, Teacher Mark. My name is blah, blah, blah. I'm from blah, blah, blah. And my question is blah, 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 blah." Okay? So 3 things. What is your name? Where are you from? And what is your question? All right? What is your name? Where are you from? And what is your question? 1 video, 1 question. Don't ask me 10 questions on 1 video. Don't ask me 2 questions in 1 video. 1 question, 1 video. Okay? All right. And I think that's going to do it for me today, everybody. I'm a bit tired and I'm a bit hungry, so it's time for me to go get some lunch. Carlos, I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio. It's in the middle of the United States. Okay? All right, everybody. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for following. Please make sure you follow. I have about 50,000 followers now, almost 50,000. 49,611 followers. And that's great, but I really want to hit 50,000 soon. So please like and share, like and share, like and share. All right? Okay, everybody, have a good morning, have a good afternoon, have a good evening, wherever you are in the world. And don't forget to be a language warrior. You're not allowed to be shy if you want to learn a language. Okay? All right, everybody. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.